This has to be one of the worst things I have ever seen. Over the past few days, my TikTok has become a portal into something I never expected. Complete chaos inside of movie theaters. Clips of teenage boys at the cinema are flooding the internet. They're screaming over the dialogue, jumping on seats, throwing popcorn literally everywhere, and in more extreme cases, things have gotten violent. Employees are being harassed, theaters shut down, and in one clip, police were called because a teenager body slammed a staff member. If you're wondering what kind of high stakes intense movie would provoke this type of frenzy, well, you're in for a shock. It wasn't a terrifying horror film. It wasn't even the new Avengers film. It was the Minecraft movie. Yes, Minecraft. The blocky, family-friendly sandbox game turned kids movie. So what on earth is happening in these clips? Why are these teenage boys acting like wild animals in the cinema? Over the past few days, I've been shocked at just how many people have been encouraging this behavior online. I've seen comments shrug it off, saying that the movie is just a meme, so who cares how the audience behaves? But this attitude is exactly why this needs to be talked about. Because underneath the laughter and chaos is something much darker. A growing cultural shift where basic social etiquette is being rejected as uncool, where public spaces are treated like private TikTok sets, and where respect is only offered when something is considered worthy of it. And the thing is, we've seen ironic cinema trends before, like when teenage boys wore suits to the Minions Rise of Gru screenings in 2022, clapping respectfully, playing into the Gentle Minions meme. Whilst it was performative, it still remained respectful. What we're seeing now is the next evolution of that culture, but stripped of all its charm and replaced with open, chaotic disrespect. So in this video, we're gonna break down just how we got here, how the Minecraft movie became the center of a new wave of public disorder. We're gonna explore why teenage boys in particular are leading this charge. And most importantly, we're gonna ask the question that feels increasingly urgent. Why does this new generation seem to have no respect for anyone anymore? Because this isn't just about throwing popcorn and being disruptive. It's about how meme culture and social media have shaped a generation in ways that make me terrified for the future. And trust me when I say, after you watch the videos I'm about to show you, you're gonna be terrified too. At first glance, the Minecraft movie seems like the last film you'd expect to generate controversy, let alone spark a wave of disruptive theater behavior. It's based on one of the most beloved and peaceful video games of all time. A game that's known for its creative freedom, calming soundtrack, and nostalgic simplicity. So how did something so seemingly innocent become the punchline of a TikTok trend that's spiraling out of control? The answer to this lies in the internet's evolving relationship with media, specifically ironic media consumption, or in other terms, brain rot. The Minecraft movie was never supposed to be high quality art, and it never claimed to be. It was obvious from the get-go that this was gonna be a fun, light-hearted kids movie. But somewhere along the line, it became something else, something ironic, something memeable. In the weeks leading up to its release, the Minecraft movie had already started to spiral into meme territory on TikTok. Once the first trailer dropped, a wave of backlash surged, especially from teenage boys who mocked its every frame, anticipating how stupid or low effort it would be. But then something very interesting happened. Viewers stopped fighting the movie and began embracing the idea that it would be bad, turning it into a meme instead. The trailers became fuel for jokes. TikTok comments flooded with phrases like "nah bro, this finna be movie of the year," or "Oscar worthy," which was dripping with sarcasm. Even the very idea of the film was hilarious to them, and this is exactly where the problem started. To this new generation, the Minecraft movie wasn't a movie. It was a social event, a stage, a TikTok trend waiting to happen. Just like the infamous Gentle Minions trend, the plan wasn't to appreciate the film, it was to hijack it. But this time, the meme took a much darker approach. Instead of dressing in suits and being playfully over serious, the vibe shifted into something much much more unhinged. The joke became, how far can we push it? How loud can we scream? How much chaos can we cause? Can we get kicked out? Can we go viral? In this memeified mindset, the movie itself didn't matter. It wasn't the main character of the experience, the audience was. The theater became an extension of their phones, and the people around them were just unwilling extras in their content. On TikTok, hundreds of videos began surfacing in just a matter of days. Clips of boys jumping onto chairs and on each other, screaming throughout the entire movie, and throwing entire buckets of popcorn across the room. And these weren't isolated incidents. These videos were coming from all over the world. Different countries, different cinemas, the exact same behavior. And it genuinely makes me so sad. It's the lack of respect, not just for the people around you, but also for the employees that have to clean up after you. It's honestly just disgraceful. But here's the scary part. For them, it doesn't feel wrong, it feels normal. Because online, this type of behavior is rewarded. The more chaotic, the more viral. The psychology around this is fascinating, but also a little unnerving. There's a phenomenon called performative disinhibition, where people act out more extremely when they believe they're performing, especially for an online audience. Throw in some teenage boys, a handful of phones, and a low-stakes movie that people don't respect. You've got a perfect storm. But maybe the most important thing to understand about all of this is the fact that they don't even think they're being rude. All of the people participating and all of the comments don't see an issue with what they're doing, because the moment the Minecraft movie became a meme, it stopped being real. And when nothing is real, nothing has consequences. So what do you do when a generation has been raised to laugh at everything, film at everything, and not take anything seriously? The answer might start by understanding just how we got here in the first place. But solving it? That's a different story. At the center of this chaos is one very specific demographic. I'm sure you'll have a hard time guessing who that demographic is. Yep, you got it. Teenage boys. It's important to recognize that not every teen is behaving this way, and not every boy who went to see the Minecraft movie acted out. But the overwhelming trend across videos, across countries, across TikTok comments points to the same group again and again. Teenage boys who have grown up in a hyper-online world shaped by irony and attention-seeking with the ability to remain anonymous. So let's take a second to really break that down. Because this isn't just about one movie, it's about an entire generation that's been raised by the internet and what happens when they bring that energy into the real world. So let's start by one of the obvious motivations for this trend, which is attention. TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, all these platforms that have taught an entire generation that being seen is more valuable than being kind. You have these role models like Kai Cenat and IShowSpeed, whose popularity solely revolves around their disruptive personalities. Every action is a potential clip, every joke is a potential meme, and every outburst is a chance to go viral. Teenage boys in particular are navigating a world where traditional forms of status like sports, academics, and even looks are being replaced with online clout. Being that guy in the movie theater who screamed the loudest, who filmed the funniest chaos, who got the most likes, that's social currency. And when you grow up with a phone in your hand from the age of 8, those rewards are deeply embedded. It's not just a desire for attention, it's a trained reflex. Online, you can say anything in the world without consequence. You can insult a stranger, troll a creator, spam a comment section, and no one knows who you are. That kind of freedom, or really detachment, breeds a specific type of mindset, one where actions don't feel real. I've seen young boys comment the most vile, objectifying things under women's posts without even a second thought about it. If they were to say the same thing in real life to a stranger, they would be charged with sexual harassment. But again, it's the same thing. Because it's online, it almost doesn't feel real. So when this generation walks into a movie theater and films themselves throwing popcorn popcorn or screaming mid-movie, it's not surprising that they don't feel bad about it. They're bringing that digital detachment to real life. And it's sad because teenage boys often hide behind irony. Everything is a joke, everything is sarcastic. Feelings are cringy, sincerity is embarrassing, and liking something unironically is basically social suicide. The problem is, when irony becomes your entire personality, it becomes a shield. I didn't mean it, it's not that deep, we were just messing around. It creates a culture where disrespect is not only allowed, but celebrated as long as it's wrapped in humor. But guess who gets caught in the crossfire? The employees. The ushers, the cleaners, the people who make minimum wage that have to clean up all the popcorn, mop all the soda, and tell teens to calm down. Only to get laughed at, or worse, physically attacked. But I do feel like the lack of respect here is systemic. For years, social media has normalized the idea that customer service workers are beneath you. This is the generation who grew up watching YouTube prank channels and TikTok challenges that rewarded antisocial behavior. The ones who learned that bad behavior isn't really bad if it gets enough likes. But here's the thing, they're not villains. I know it might seem like they are, but they're not. Yes, their behavior in these videos are really concerning and they should be held responsible for it, but I do think that they're products of their environment. And that leads us to a bigger question. If this behavior is just the surface, then what's happening underneath? Why is respect itself becoming outdated? Let's start with empathy, or rather, the lack of it. Social media has given us the ability to create our own worlds. We mute people we don't like, block whoever we want, and scroll past stuff we don't want to see. Over time, that changes something in your brain. It teaches you that if you don't like something, you can just make it disappear. But in real life, you can't mute the person sitting next to you. You can't block the family with their kids trying to watch the same movie. You can't scroll away from the employee mopping up the mess that you made. And that disconnect between online convenience and real-life consequence is where empathy starts to die. And that lack of empathy directly ties into the rising trend of treating strangers like content. There's a kid crying on the bus that's annoying you. Film it and post it online. There's an employee who made a mistake. Expose them. When we turn people into memes or punchlines, we stop seeing them as people. And once someone isn't real to you, it becomes a lot easier to disrespect them. I will never understand how some people can see someone having a mental health crisis in public and just stand there, film it, and post it online for millions and millions of people to see and ridicule. Just imagine if that was your family member. This is exactly what's happening in theaters right now. It's not just that these boys are being loud or messy, it's that they don't care that they're ruining someone else's experience, because in their mind, there is no one else. The movie theater used to be a sacred space, one of the only places in public where people would actually abide by the rules. You sit, you watch, you shut up. It didn't matter who you were or what movie you were watching, it was an unspoken rule, simply basic theater etiquette. But somewhere along the way, those rules just seemed to unravel. I mean, I can't be the only one who has just had a really bad movie experience recently. Not even just with the Minecraft movie, but it seems like every movie there's always someone talking or someone on their phone. People's brains are so fried now that when you watch a movie without checking your phone, it feels like an achievement. Another strange argument that's popped up in defense of the Minecraft chaos is the fact that it's just a kids movie, as if a movie made for children automatically deserves less respect or none at all. But just think about what that actually says. It implies that some art is inherently unworthy of attention, that there's a hierarchy of media, and if something doesn't meet the bar of real cinema, you have permission to act like an animal. This is a dangerous mindset, not just for art, but for society, because it starts with it's just a kids movie, and it quickly becomes it's just fast food, why should I clean it up myself? It's just a minimum wage worker, why should I treat them with kindness? kindness. It's just a stranger. Why should I care how they feel? It teaches people, especially young people, that respect is something that has to be earned and not given as a baseline. But here's the truth. Respect isn't about what someone or something deserves, it's about what type of person you are. So maybe this whole thing wasn't ever really about the Minecraft movie. Maybe what we're witnessing in these theaters is something much bigger, a mirror, a reflection of what happens when an entire generation is raised online but never taught how to exist offline. And honestly, it's really sad. Not in a kids these days kind of way, but in a we're losing something important type of way. We're losing moments of quiet. We're losing the ability to just sit and enjoy something. And as someone who has a monthly movie pass and loves going to the cinema, I think this is why it hurts the most. Going to the movies used to feel special. You'd grab snacks, find your seat, and just let yourself escape into another world for a little while. That kind of communal experience is rare now. But the behavior that I've been seeing on TikTok and even in real life is completely shattering that. And worse, it's being broadcast, celebrated, and repeated. The kind of behavior that doesn't just ruin the movie, it ruins the magic of what movies even are. And yeah, maybe the Minecraft movie is goofy and maybe it is meme-worthy. But did you ever stop to think that there are kids sitting in that cinema seat so excited to see their favorite characters on the big screen for the first time? Or the parents who are just trying to give their kids a wholesome memory? Or the workers who are just trying to get through the shift in one piece? Because it's not just your space, and it never was. And that is all I have for you guys today. If you made it this far in the video, I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments if you have experienced this type of behavior in your local cinema recently, because I know that I have. And also, comment the word diamond sword so that we can confuse everyone else in the comments. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps out my channel so much, and I don't want to lose you guys in the algorithm. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!